So, this happened.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
And this is how I'm dealing with it. I used to wake up at 5:45 a.m. and now I wake up at 6:50 a.m. And even though it sounds nice, the truth is I would rather wake up earlier, take a shower, get dressed, and go to school than waking up a little bit later just to sit down in front of a computer with just an hour of resting amongst the 7 hours of school time. Okay, so I've just woke up. It's 7 in the morning right now. And I'm about to get in my first online class of the day. Yeah, this whole online class situation isn't great, but there are some refreshing moments during the day. For instance, I get to walk my dog during day and nighttime, which I prefer because of how lonely the neighborhood feels. Plus, it also gives away a little bit of a horror movie-like spooky vibe, which I'm really into. I mean, just look at the 52nd and the 3rd at this time of the day. When it comes to what I've been doing in my free time, it's just an excessively higher amount of the same I did before the quarantine. You know, just a bunch of video games, show and movie binging, listening to music while looking at nothing, and actually doing nothing while thinking what else there is to do. Yeah, it might not sound like the most fun daily routine I've ever had, but it's definitely better than going out and getting infected. When it comes to the problems the world is facing because of the virus, there's a lot, starting with quarantine psychological effects.
During this time when there's so much focus on our physical health, it's important not to forget about our mental health. With all the changes happening as we overcome this pandemic, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, anxious, and stressed.
It doesn't take an expert to know that isolation can cause many mental issues like depression or anxiety, mainly because of the lack of real-life human interaction, the feeling of loneliness, amongst many other things. For instance, I said this on my classroom's WhatsApp group. If you've been having problems with your sleeping schedule during quarantine, please send an emoji, and 10 out of 11 of my classmates responded.
And the latest reports on unemployment indicate millions more people have filed claims for jobless benefits in the past week. And there's no surprise there. Most of us are living under some form of a stay-at-home order. These restrictions are putting a huge strain on the country's economic health.
COVID-19 has also caused an economic crisis all around the world. This is mainly happening due to many places shutting down because of social distancing, and therefore millions of employees from various companies that support the global economy have been fired or suspended from their job. One of the many examples of this crisis is what's currently happening with restaurants. So many have closed that the sales have been really low, and according to the American Restaurants Association, the sales have declined by around $225 billion between March and May this year. The only positive effect of the quarantine so far is the environmental change. It's no mystery that us humans have been contaminating the earth for an extremely long time, even though we know the consequences. Gladly, coronavirus is actually helping the environment, mainly because people have stopped using their gas-fueled vehicles, and according to Playground magazine, CO2 emissions will decrease by 2,600 million tons by the end of the year. Hey, say whatever you want about the quarantine, but you have to admit, the planet needed this. Okay, the quarantine is something that humanity requires right now. With over 6 million infected and almost 400,000 dead, it was a matter of time before the government started taking measurements to control the spreading of the virus. This is happening to all of us, and if we're responsible enough, we'll get out of this together.